Welcome to Thrones and Scones. No. Welcome to Thrones and Scones. It's your weekday morning podcast. Bitch! It's Friday. Bitch! And we're tackling season 7, episode 5, Eastwatch, bitch. Over breakfast, bitch. Mr. White, bitch. It's Tony, Hans, and Jeremy. Sorry. I'm just trying to, you guys want to do Breaking Bad next for the next podcast?
Yeah.
We can roll into Breaking Bad. Maybe, because they're going to make a movie. Did you know this?
I did not know this.
They're making a movie. I think it's about Jesse after the series, which kind of bums me out, but it's happening. Spoiler alert for Breaking Bad, Jesse's not dead.
Never seen it.
Oh, well, Jesse's not dead.
Oh, that's good to know.
I feel like Hans would want to do like an Office podcast or
The Office is so great.
It is so great.
Or a Parks and Rec.
I saw a thing. I saw a thing the other day. This will be the first year that LeBron James isn't in the NBA playoffs in like 14 years or something like that. And so it was a bunch of things that was like, the last time LeBron wasn't in the playoffs, this is what the world looked like. And just some of the ones I can remember. Nobody had heard Kim Kardashian's name yet. No one knew who she was. The Office was in its first season. Carrie Underwood had just won American Idol. It was a long time ago. George Bush was president. Whew, years and years.
Good old W.
Different time. It's a different time. Anyway, that's when I pay attention to sports, is when you throw an Office reference into it. Anyway, we're here for Eastwatch today, the 5th episode of season 7, the final episode of this week, and I have a little plot action. Oh, by the way, we're feeding our taste buds, keeping our mouths ready to talk with a little raspberry pie scone.
Delicious.
It's raspberry pie,
Scone.
but it's a scone. Follow along. Keep up, bitch.
Keep up.
You guys want a little plot? It is, so you know how we did 2 yesterday and they got progressively shorter? This one, and just verifying here, it is the correct episode. It's even shorter. So whoever you just want the briefest impression of, go ahead and...
Give us a, just in tribute, since it already got brought up, give us a little George Dub.
That sounded a little bit more like Beavis and Butthead. You know what they say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you can't get fooled again. I can't. I don't know. In my head, my George W. and my Bill Clinton are kind of intertwined.
Let me hear Clinton.
Well, I can't pick one out from the other. They just both have the same voice.
They just mix in together.
And so I'm trying to figure out what. No, sorry. That's not it.
I feel like my definitive George W. Bush is from Harold and Kumar, the Guantanamo Bay. The second Harold and Kumar. Where
Give
they
me
go.
Lil?
Have you seen that one?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, it's so funny when they meet George Bush. That's for some reason, whenever I think of George Bush, that's who I think of. I don't even think of the real George Bush.
Can you impersonate the Harold and Kumar George Bush?
No, I can't do either. But it's very funny.
All right. Well, Daenerys. No, God. No, he's not. Daenerys offers a choice. Arya grows suspicious. Tyrion answers, good question. I feel like I sound like a wise
You
black
like a
man.
guy on SVU.
Yeah, I sound like Ice-T.
Ice-T, George W. Bush. That's
Tomato. All right. Well, anyway, things happen in this episode. Coming off of what is a hella crazy episode, we get some more ish popping off. Mm-hmm. And as Gwen Stefani so aptly put, this shit is bananas. which BANAS would you guys like to start with today?
So you think this is better than the last episode, or
No.
nope?
Nope, not at all.
No.
Yeah. I say because I feel like this slowed down a lot. I do feel like you get a lot of progression from a standpoint of like building towards the next 2 episodes. But overall, it was a lost story for me. It wasn't the greatest. I didn't like Danny killing the Tarley family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say from a BANANAS standpoint, I think we should start with Dickon.
It just doesn't fit the character you think she's becoming, right?
It's tough. There's like these wartime Daenerys moments. It's very, very similar to that thing she has in Marine where she strings up the masters.
Yeah. It's like she's supposed to not be burning everyone to ash, but that's exactly what she does.
Raises some questions about maybe where her character goes next season.
It's true. It's true. To be clear, though, if I was Daenerys Targaryen, I think I also would have done what she did. I feel like she gave them plenty of opportunity. She respected their decision, and then she moved on and did what she had to do to inspire, loyalty, fear, whatever you want to call it, in everyone else, which worked swimmingly. So while I agree that, like, it wasn't the best way to make the decision, I am of a similarly morally questionable character that I think was a bit more blonde, better endowed in the tits region, a bit more dragon heavy, I probably would have done the same thing.
That's fair.
I don't know. I think that entire section where is Randall's the dad, right? Or Randall?
Yeah, Randall.
Where he's like chiding her of like, this is a foreigner, invading our country. I'm like, she's not a foreigner, she was born there and raised there. So that doesn't actually go with that statement.
Yeah, but I mean, like, she was born on an island of Westeros. Don't you feel like Randall Tarley's the show me the birth certificate kind of guy?
He is kind of totally that. And then the whole Tyrion Kinslayer, which I don't understand how they didn't just get the whole Jaime Kingslayer thrown right back in his face at that exact moment. It's like, or Jaime the Twincest Slayer. That's right. Pew, 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 pew.
Jaime the pipe layer.
Pipe layer. I don't know. I wanted this to be different for this. I don't know. It just didn't do much for me. I'm just gonna say it that way.
Yeah, I do agree. I
just didn't like to see the son and dad die I don't understand for what their reasons are. They seem like good people who got dragged into a war, and they chose a side that really didn't fit where they actually belonged because they were more with Olenna in the first place. So this seems like a better thing for them to support, right?
Yeah, I don't feel bad for Randall. He's an ass. I do feel bad for Dickon because he just kind of seems a little lost and a little clueless. And he saw this void in his family, this thing that his father was looking for. He saw an instant into his good graces and he snatched at that. And I don't think he ever let go. Mm-hmm. And, he's kind of here just because of his dad's stubbornness. I do feel bad for that.
Yeah. I think it is tough though, because she did just in one of the recent episodes, she did just make a huge point to say to her advisors, tell me if I'm doing something wrong. I want to know. Yeah. Granted, she did listen to them, and then things went shitty, and now she's kind of taking it in her own hands. But now she's blatantly just ignoring their advice again. So I think that more than anything was what was a bit questionable to me, rather than her decision to begin with. But it's hard to say. I don't know. Tough decision to make.
Right. Indeed. Yes. We do go on though to then get a little bit more dragon action. Do you guys want to do one of my favorite segments?
Yeah. What is it?
Hasn't been a segment really officially, but we're about to make it one with this jingle I'm about to create on the spot that goes, "We're three guys. Yes, even Tony. He's also a guy, despite some questions. And they all have cats. So let's talk about cats." Oh, how are you guys' cats?
Good.
Good.
Kind of
Great.
a bitch.
Oh, definitely a bitch. I mean, literally, Coco is the definition of a skank.
Well, with your kind of bitches and your skanks, are you familiar with a concept when it comes to cats called the slow blink?
No.
No.
Oh, allow me to enlighten you. The slow blink is a phenomenon that cats can experience and that you can experience with cats. It's kind of fun.
Is this like an infomercial or something?
Yeah, the slow blink can be yours for just $19.95. So it's essentially, there's kind of a few instances that you can tell when a cat's like getting comfortable with you, and it's when they like lay down. If they're laying down with their paws out forward, that's because they're ready to pounce, even though they might look calm. But if they tuck their paws underneath, they think you're a pretty chill dude. Also, if they look at you and they blink very slowly, that is also a sign of trust, because from like a predatory standpoint, that is something that just evolutionarily you don't do. So you can bring this, like if your cat is just kind of chilling and is pretty calm, look at it and blink your eyes a couple times really slow. They'll probably do it back to you. If they don't, they fucking hate you.
They're plotting your murder.
Yeah, they're plotting your murder as we speak. And so
Hans, do you
it's
have your
kind
cat
of
with you right there?
Yeah, Murphy must have, her ears must have been ringing because she brought me a toy as we were talking about this.
Ooh.
She brought me Slug Judy.
That's a great cat toy.
Isn't it
That is a
hilarious?
giant fucking cat toy.
It's very big, yeah.
It's a giant, yeah. She's going to be huge. There she is.
She's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. She's trying to bite you.
Yeah. Ow.
Ollie. I'm trying to get him to look at me so I can do it and so that you can see it.
No, rubbing that head on you. Kitty.
Well, I'm bleeding from my nose as well, so I think he probably got a little blood. He's fine.
All that cocaine.
Yeah, too much coke.
Too
much coke with our scone. I did a cocaine scone right before the episode today. An 8-ball scone. All right. So anyway, in my conquest to continue to determine that these dragons are 100% cats, Drogon 100% slow blinks John when John comes up to him, takes his little glove off, puts his hand out to him, and Drogon's like, and then they touch. They share that moment of electricity. Drogon kind of calms down, and then it just closes up on his eye, and just nice and slow, just blinks, opens back up. I'm just saying, I couldn't hear purring, but it was happening.
But it was there.
Yeah, hell yeah. So that has been We're Three Dudes. We're all straight, and yes, I did say we're all three dudes, even Tony, and we've all got cats, and we just talked about cats. I think that's how it went. Cool.
So, do you think Drogon likes Jon or Tyrion better?
John, I don't think we've seen Drogon interact with Tyrion.
Oh, sorry.
really.
Tyrion interacted with the other two, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they slow blinked him to death.
Did they?
I don't know. I just remember the one like nuzzling down, realizing that he was taking the chains off. And I'm pretty sure we should look at that again and see if he got slow blinked.
We should.
Which sounds like a sex thing still.
It's just.
Did you guys see that
you
sweet slow blink? Oh, we did. I slow blinked her well into the night.
We trusted each other so hard. I folded my paws back underneath my body so she knew that I wasn't a danger to her.
I picture like raptor hands like inside. Oh yeah, I snuggled down next to you.
I rubbed my scent glands onto her scent glands.
There were some anal glands expressed.
Yeah. I turned around and I showed the butthole.
I said, you like it? Yeah, you like it?
Oh. What happens after that? Let's see. Oh, Jorah's back.
Yeah.
Jorah's
Looking
back.
good.
And to express the fact that he's a new, better character, he has new, cool-looking armor.
Where'd he get the armor?
Who's to say? Maybe he killed a very nice family for it.
But, yeah, that seems fitting.
Seems to work.
Probably not, but maybe he did. We don't know that he didn't, and I feel like until we can do a full investigation, we have to assume the worst. Because he's the worst.
We just find out, like, next season, we just find out he's just a serial murderer. Just the worst character in Game of Thrones.
I mean, if you had to pick somebody, because you know how they say, like, they were just like everyone's neighbors. They were pretty chill dudes. You would have never expected them to be a serial murderer. Who in Game of Thrones that isn't a serial murderer and doesn't strike you as a serial murderer do you think would be a serial murderer? Jorah, maybe? Is it Jorah? I mean, the answer
Jaime.
is yes. Jaime? Nah.
Now, see, Jaime would do it because he's clearly carrying all this stress, but he can't show it, so he's like secretly murdering all these people in the background. You know, like the night, like kind of Jack the Ripper kind of thing.
Oh my.
To stay sane. That's what's happening.
Maybe.
Speaking of Jaime, what did you think of the whole King's Landing, Jaime Cersei stuff?
I don't have anything written about. Oh, I do.
Yeah.
She's pregnant.
She's a prego.
Cersei Lannister is a lovely little pregnant. How old did we establish? 40 years old. Still kicking, still fertile. What?
Oh, I said the worst thought ever. I was like, oh my god, thank goodness I didn't say that out loud. Jesus.
Now I need to know.
I know. We'll have to save that for a time when we're definitely going to all burn in hell.
Oh, okay, fair enough. We're still salvageable at this point.
Oh yeah.
Season finale.
Season finale.
Or I guess series finale.
Series finale. There we go. But yeah, Cersei has a little bun in the oven, and
Little scone in the oven.
yeah. Did you expect this? Little scone in the oven. Ooh, there's our T-shirt.
No, I did not expect this.
Didn't expect it either.
I would like a
Do you
heart
think
with like
that there's a
stone.
twist that Jamie's not the father?
You think it's just a dirty lie? Just
Well,
to
she
get
was
Jaime to do what
fucking
she
other
wants?
people, right? It's not like she's just fucking Jaime.
Is she fucking other people?
So the question of timeline comes into play, right?
Yeah.
How long has Jaime been back
Wait, back in what sense?
in King's Landing?
But like
Returned.
since he returned from
Yes.
being maimed, or since he returned when she blew up the sept?
No. Let's go from being maimed. How long is?
Oh,
how much time has passed?
A few years?
Okay. All right. Never
Maybe.
mind. Then. That's the thing. Is like you don't get an idea of time in this sense.
But I mean, are you trying to imply that maybe it's Lancel?
Yeah.
No way.
No.
There's no way.
It had to be years ago.
Maybe
Yeah.
that was it. Maybe that was 6 months down the road.
Maybe it was, but it wasn't. Yeah, that's not the only thing that happens in King's Landing either. We see Gendry.
Oh, yes, you're right. Yeah.
Gendry, I forgot about him. Okay, he's back.
Gets
That's
his
fine.
hammer. Yay.
Yeah, he's got so Gendry hiding in plain sight as the bastard of Robert Baratheon has on the wall of his shop, not hidden at all, a hammer emblazoned with the Baratheon sigil. Just hanging
Best of
hanging
luck
out.
with that decision. Yeah.
Yeah. Seems a little silly. Seems very silly. But he does brutally fuck up a couple guards on their way out of the city. Hammer to the face. Hammer to the face. Guards done.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
that
badass.
that was enjoyable, actually.
Hell yeah.
So is Davos just not a good fighter? Like he is a smuggler, but he's shit with anything else?
I think that's the implication, yeah.
Yeah. Because I can't remember him ever doing anything in that regard. And I know he's lost some fingers. Is it for both hands or for the right hand only?
For the one, his right hand.
Right hand, okay.
I think he's even said that he's no fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he says it every 5 minutes.
Yeah. He's just
What
a crabber's
yeah.
son.
Just Crabber's son with a workman-like penis. Really unimpressive, Your Grace. yeah, what else? What did you guys not like about the episode? Your big bits. I think that my least favorite part was them pretty quickly coming up with the legitimately ridiculous plan that, hey, we have to take an excursion beyond the wall to capture a corpse and bring it all the way back to King's Landing just so that we can meet with Cersei and show her a corpse. Because it's bonkers. And the fact that they come to that realization in like, I don't know, 30 seconds is ridiculous to me.
Yeah,
and the fact that it's not meant with, wait, what? No, we're not doing that. Like,
exactly. I love that that's the plan, and then it's almost like someone else was just like, oh, that's what I was going to say.
Wait, did you write that down too? Me too.
It's so obvious. Yeah, but Tony, don't forget, it's a badass plotline for a show.
It's true. It's a badass. So this whole, and I'll get mostly into it next episode. But the idea, and this is the start of it, where they're given this quest that doesn't kind of make sense. You're like, yeah, I get how it can work, but it seems like you're forcing it. And then the group that they get together, and then the actual way they go about it, it is 100% just the weirdest and most normal session of any role-playing game, like D&D or what have you. And I see so many parallels that I can't wait to touch on tomorrow, or Monday rather. It's going to be good, y'all.
Yeah, like why would they even think that they can, send this small of group to capture something that is undead when this army is bearing down on them?
Yeah. I don't know.
And it's not like they're able to travel that fast. That's the other thing that drives me at the wall. How far is this army away? Because they've got to be close. And then, they have time to walk to them and walk back with something they captured. Then travel to King's Landing to be like, hey, let's show you this thing that we've captured. All in time to then fight this army.
Oh, we are going to talk about timelines on Monday as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a little ridiculous.
Yeah, we'll talk about it then.
Oh. I can't wait. Just a couple other notes here from the episode. The Northern Lords are getting quite restless. Arya and Sansa start to butt heads pretty seriously. And Arya is spying on Littlefinger, who is spying on Arya, spying on Littlefinger. And if the future episodes are to believed, maybe Arya is spying on Littlefinger, spying on Arya, spying on Littlefinger?
I think so.
Yeah, that's what I was going with.
Does that track?
Yeah.
Okay. Very convoluted. Thoughts on Winterfell?
I like Arya.
Yeah, it's fine. Like you said, I don't, not to be spoilery, but it pays off. But I think there's just a lot of it.
Yeah,
and it's it's all right.
Yeah,
I think
it has a little Karth feel to it.
Yeah, I think
it's a little Carthy.
The episode's I don't remember thinking the episode was all that bad. I think season 7 just in general is just a little bit obviously a little bit slower than season 6. There's the last episode had an awesome moment, but overall the season's been a bit slower, a bit more story heavy. Even some of the extended plot lines aren't necessarily my favorite. Kind of like this Lord Baelish, Arya, Sansa thing going on is fine, but I would have liked it a little bit more concise than it is, or a little bit less stretched out. Because they've really been pulling this Sansa Lord Baelish thing for over 3 seasons. This has been a long time. I don't necessarily know if it feels like it needed to be that long.
I do feel like this season, and with the writers not necessarily having all of season 8, I think, done in their minds in the direction they're going to go, they don't play the long game as well, I feel like. Right? You don't see them building other things up for the next 2 seasons because they only have one more season left, and they're going to have to close a lot of loops. So I feel like they're not doing as much kind of delicate kind of intertwining at this point.
Do you? So you're saying you don't think that they have the finale written out at this point?
I don't. I don't think they know everything they're doing at this point. By by episode 5, I feel like they still have some things and some questions for how they're going to conclude some things. You think it is done? You think they knew the end at this point?
I mean, I think that they have to at least know the big stuff.
Well, I mean, so there was Martin was recently quoted in saying that, the endings he had given them 4 or 5 years ago, that's the direction they were going to go, but all of these minor characters and their endings was still very much up to them and would likely differ in a huge way from the books.
Well, but I think in order to tell a story like this, you kind of have to know where you're going. So I'm assuming the writers have an idea.
I mean, maybe they know endings, but then again, I think, saying this is how the show or the story of the movie ends, but then thinking of ways of bringing all these minor characters to a conclusion that feels good is also, I mean, you can just mass kill everyone and that's okay, but I think when you interplay their stories and make it more feel more connected in the world, I think it does a better job. And I think that's where this season doesn't know necessarily, I feel like, all those decisions yet, and I feel like next season is gonna pick up so much quicker.
Yeah, this season I've found has really fallen into this trap that a few of the seasons have struggled into, and a few like just 2-3 episode stints where it does feel like it's dragging. They're setting up a lot, but they're not paying off enough to kind of make it worth it in the moment.
Right.
And this is the exact opposite of what I was expecting, not only coming off of what we all agreed was thus far the best season.
Absolutely.
And the fact that they cut it down to 7 episodes. So they're eliminating 3 hours of programming. You would think that eliminates a lot of downtime.
And that really bothers me. It's like, why not give us 10 episodes? It's not like you can't, it's not like you don't have the ability with all these characters to do some really cool things.
Yeah, I think it's all budget at this point.
They're not making enough billions?
Well, they're just spending so much per episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's got to be paying off. It's like, I mean, by season 7, I wonder how much viewers they had doubled at this point.
Yeah, maybe. Just in case anyone forgot, because at this point, you'd be forgiven. We've seen the dragons a lot. They're not shying away from the dragons. Anyone want to guess the last time we saw Ghost? Because he's not dead. He's fine.
It's been a while, right?
I have no idea. I don't know when it was. It has been a long time. I think it was probably the episode that John came back to life. So season 6, episode
2?
3?
That's 3, right? No, I think it's 3.
That's weird.
Season 6, episode 3. He comes back at the very end of episode 2, but we see Ghost in episode 3. So it's been more than a season since we have seen Ghost. And John has gone so many places. And the wolf is not going with him, and no one's watching him. Maybe he is dead because he's not been fed. I don't know. I don't think anyone knows.
I don't know.
It has to be more expensive to show the dragons than the wolf, right?
I think he's slotted as a character in season 8, according to IMDb.
Ooh.
So
who's voicing Ghost?
Spoilers. I don't know. It's a good question.
If you had to cast somebody to play Ghost.
Oh.
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I could get behind that.
Purple
that and anything else from episode 5 here? Again, we get this weird D&D party coming together at the end. Jorah, Tormund, Gendry.
It's such a ridiculous. Yeah, just
John.
Continue.
Beric Dondarrion, Thoros of Myr, Beric, and the Hound.
It's such just a fan servicey bullshit.
It's a fan
little.
It's literally like they were making.
I do like the little. I think I don't even know what my favorite part of this episode is. I when I watched it, I tried to pick one. I kind of went back and I was like, I don't know. I'll think about it. And then even thinking about it again, I guess I like the. Again, I didn't think the episode was overall bad by any means. A little slow, nothing like crazy. I do like the Gendry part, I guess. Gendry and Davos, when Gendry just wrecks some dudes with the hammer is cool. Good to see Gendry back. I've always thought he was a decent character.
He's fine. It feels like just from the weight they put on the scene, because that was kind of like the mid-episode crutch, was like, that was kind of carrying you emotionally through. It seems like they're thinking we care about Gendry more than we do, which, again, I don't dislike Gendry, but he's not main character level as they're trying to, like, make him.
No. I like the part where John and the dragon is fine. I did like the part which is very quick in this episode. We go back and we see Sam and Gilly, and then we subtly hear Gilly mention Rhaegar's annulment and remarriage, and you just hear her say that. And at the time, Sam is absolutely ignoring her and not listening to her at all, and totally throws her off. Yet later, spoilers, apparently he was listening very well.
Yeah. So, and not only because she starts to say it and blah, 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 and he kind of cuts her off. Not only was he listening, but he apparently then went back and read it or something, because he follows it up with not only the fact that the marriage was annulled, but that a second marriage was performed to Lyanna Stark.
Oh, yeah, that it was specific, because I think she does say something about a remarriage, but she doesn't say to who, I don't believe.
Right. Which I guess, who else? But
right.
Still. But I think everyone is also missing the point, and again, this is a couple episodes ahead, but Sansa was just forced into a marriage against her will. So the fact that there's just a marriage record and everyone's now like, oh my gosh, they were in love. We don't know that. I mean, I guess we do know that because Bran saw it, but still, we don't know that.
Yeah, we don't know.
I have my own. Bran shutting down conspiracy theories since day one.
I have some very strong opinions about that scene that we go back to, but we'll talk about that when we get there. So I'll let the suspense build.
I can't wait. Build it up. No, you don't relieve the tension. Pretend this is that episode of Seinfeld. No one touch yourself until we come back next week and start talking about Game of Thrones on Monday with season 7, episode 6. And things going to be a little different next week as well. Just a heads up, because I don't know if you boys know this, we're running out of episodes.
We're running out quick.
We came up with the idea to hit every Game of Thrones episode. And the first week that we did it, I was like, oh, hell yeah. And the second week that we were doing it, I was like, this will kill us.
Yep. And make sure, again, we only have a couple of episodes left, but tell your friends, tell everyone, tell people who aren't your friends, get them listening, because we are not hitting the numbers we promised our investors.
Yes, exactly. And
and I'm going to tell you that contract was rough.
So those were some rough conference calls.
I very much like my kneecaps and all 3 of my kids, and would like to continue being able to support them both on my shoulders with working kneecaps and financially with their continued existence in this world. Anyway, so next week we're going to be doing season 7, episode 6 on Monday. We will be off on Tuesday. We'll hit the final episode of season 7 on Wednesday, and then we will see if we can get Rob in for our season finale on Friday, and then we will have some exciting stuff after that ahead of the new season that we'll touch on maybe a little bit later. But for now, Jeremy, your dessert, breakfast, hybrid concoction, Frankenstein of death thing, tell me about that raspberry pie scone.
So imagine if you had a pie and you cut into it and there was a raspberry scone inside, because that's exactly what this looks like. It actually has a piece of pie crust on top of it. And is it a scone? It's pretty delicious. I like raspberries. It's a little dry, which is kind of...
It sounds like a lot of bread.
It is. But, so, growing up, like, one of the best things my grandmother ever made was, when you have, like, the pie crust left over and you'd put it in the oven, and you would put some cinnamon sugar on it? Like, that was...
Only Jeremy's reviews lead to the phrase "growing up." Let me start from the beginning.
So this is like
I'm being birthed,
just coming out the canal, and the first smell that hits my nose.
I just realized for the first time that I had a twin.
You can hit up
throatsandscones.com
if you want to hear more about things.
This
find the episodes we've done, the episodes we have yet to do. And we will, of course, catch you
places
on Monday.
I feel like if you
Are
don't
you down with GOT?
Yeah, you know
like
me.
Little small nibbles, little scrumptious. Num num.
Did you say little small nipples?
Yep. Bing. High shelf. Top it.
Oh. I'm just trying not to bleed all over the place. That whole episode. I have constant nosebleeds, but they come in these weird stints that last for, I think the longest stint is was probably like 6 months. And when I say constant, I mean like once a day, at its worst, 4-5 times a day. But then huge dry spells. Like I think this has been happening for like a week now. And before this, nothing in a year. Very odd.
Do you have allergies?
No. And it's not seasonally specific or like regionally specific. Like I thought surely when it's super dry out, that'll affect it. But when it got really bad, actually, was when I moved to Florida the first time. And then now, spring is back. The dryness is gone again. Maybe my nose hates moisture. It doesn't know what to do, so it just
doesn't know what to do. I don't know.
I've gotten really good at rolling up single plies of toilet paper into the perfect little nose buffers and figuring out just the perfect amount of Kleenex to rip out of my nose to rip out stuff into my nose so that it doesn't hang out and I look like an idiot. I guess that's a life skill.
I think that is, yeah. Definitely.
How hot do you keep your apartment?
It is currently, I can't see the thermometer, but I don't have anything heating or air on, so it's pretty temperate.
Take some sweet Vaseline and put it in your nose tonight. It'll help.
I don't have any. Perhaps I should go get some.
Go get some butter and put it in your nose.
It's all out.
Yeah, it's all. I've got some oranges.
But anyway, speaking of serial murderers.
Oh yeah.
In that episode, any other issues with thinking you're about to be murdered, Tony? Preparing for your death, yeah. I assume this just happens every time you're in public.
It does happen a lot. I'm trying to think of notable exceptions because now it's so fast in my mind.
Yeah.
That it only usually takes note if it's like particularly odd or like if I catch myself thinking about it and go, wait, why am I? It's just an old lady, Tony. But no, I actually don't think. Recently, I can't. I have been running a lot, so most of my things as of right now are like just outrunning because it's going to take more of my physical energy to reverse my momentum and start, punching this guy to death. So just keep running.
Oh, you think you just outrun him?
Yeah. Well, so yeah, fight or flight. I'm already flighting, so
why fight?
Yeah, why fight? You just keep going. Plus, I have this, I think it's a mentality a lot of people have, like people who have never been in a fight, but think that if it came down to it, that maybe they could win a fight. And on the one hand, I'm 100% certain I would lose any fight. And on the other hand, I know I would win. So it's really tough. But the same is true for running. I'm not a particularly fast runner, but I feel like if my life were on the line, I could hit Olympic speed.
Yeah, I've told you this before, Tony. For anyone who has seen me, knows me, very skinny guy. There's no way I'm winning any fight.
Rub it in.
If it's fair, okay? So I have also thought this in my mind that, of course, like I have the same mentality that it's like if I get in a fight, obviously I'd win. Like
I'm crazy.
I'm crazy. So then my strategy is just to be the second that fight even. Just the second there's even a whiff that there might potentially be a fight. You just go insane. Okay? This is my plan. And you just like you go turn it up to 11. The only phrases you start saying is that you're gonna you're gonna mutilate and eat this guy's. You're gonna mutilate and eat this guy's penis. And you just keep obsessing over it, and just like you keep saying it, and that's gonna turn that fight around very quickly. Like that dude's not gonna want to fight. Who are you gonna want to fight? You want to go up against someone who you think's gonna give you a fair fight, or you want to go up against the guy who literally said he's gonna eat your penis?
I think verbiage is so important too, because like you have to say penis.
Yeah.
Because if you say dick, cock, or anything, like that's you're getting out aggression. But
Yeah.
penis is calculated.
No, yeah, it has to be calculated. There has to there's got to be obvious intent, you know. And you gotta go insane. You gotta break the bottle. You gotta let them know that you're gonna get that thing off.
Here's the thing: are you prepared to follow through?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think
To
at that
what
point,
extent are you willing to continue this charade?
so I've actually talked about this multiple times with people, and I've thought about it, you know. And I think if you're in that deep, first of all, your adrenaline's pumping, and
You should rip it off, like bare hand rip off.
I mean, you've given them fair warning. I think you gotta follow through.
But how? Just assume that there a majority of people walking around in the street. They are wearing jeans. What's your go? Sure. What's your move?
I think first, I don't know. Actually, I haven't thought that deep into it.
I think you just use your box cutter and you just go. You just one little swipe and you
that's
break
fair.
it. You
I
rip
was
it
thinking
down.
more along.
You grab hold of the shaft. You come across the shaft.
My thing is like, do you
put it in your mouth? You chew on it. You can gnaw on it a little bit.
The other thing too is like, no one wears their jeans that tight, right? Like I'm gonna be able to yank them suckers down.
What if they have a belt?
Force. These are all fair questions.
I'm just saying I would have answers if this was my battle strategy.
Do you wear your belt super tight?
I mean, I don't think. I'll stand up to prove it. I'm not wearing a belt. I don't think you could pull my jeans down. It took six tries to get them down about 2 inches.
That's
all.
fair.
That's all you need, though.
And that's a serious problem. That's why, this strategy is why I've always hoped it wouldn't actually come to it.
Well, sure.
But if someone is just
Here's the thing, Hans. It will come to it.
If someone is just frantically screaming those things at you, though, are you going to want to fight that guy? I don't know.
I guess your only real problem is what happens when you run up against somebody who has the exact same strategy. And then you're basically playing the what was the chicken. You're playing chicken just to see who breaks first.
You're playing Dickin.
You're playing Dick and Tarley here.
Yeah.
And you just got to see where it takes you. I don't know. Also, speaking of jeans, and this would probably even make them harder to get off. I don't know. This is an old story, but I don't think I've ever spoken to you guys about it, and it still confuses me to this day. This probably 2 years ago, bought a pair of jeans, liked them, went back to the store, was like, all right, I bought these jeans, they fit good. I washed them, and then they still fit good, which is really the test. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go buy another pair of these jeans. Grabbed, same brand, same size, same, regular cut or whatever. It wasn't anything fancy. Get home and realize that these jeans were button fly. Did you know they're still making button fly jeans?
No.
I don't actually know what you mean. What's button fly?
There's no zipper.
Instead of a zipper, it's like 4 buttons.
Isn't that chick jeans?
Well, I mean, these were men jeans.
Oh, I mean, isn't that what typically? I don't know.
I have no idea. I've never been a woman, as I said a few episodes back, Jeremy.
Okay, so wait, they have
Killing my streak
Okay, I don't know if that would bother me. I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? So when you say buttons, like
it's just odd. I just didn't realize.
not like snaps, not like
No,
snap
they're
buttons.
like
no, not snaps.
No.
How many buttons
on.
are there in the
I think
fly?
4. I think 4.
Holy fuck, that's a lot of buttons.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, there's no zipper.
Yeah, but think about like I mean, you would really only need like one button in the middle, right?
Yeah, you're gonna want a relatively tight seal, I think.
Yeah. I just
in
I
case
don't see
just
the
in-
benefit of it really.
Just in case you get in a fight with anyone like me.
Hans is like, "Oh, I see you rocking those button-fly jeans." Yes.
That's how you choose your opponents.
I still love the idea that it just like that someone just like kind of get like someone just barely like nudges someone and like kind of looks around and like, "What's your problem, buddy?" And then all of a sudden, bite his fucking dick off. It's like yelling.